let's introduce our candidates here for this 4th District debate. Looks a little like an NBA lineup. Playing power forward. Randy Feenstra is on the right here, Republican state senator from Hull, got elected in 2008. How tall are you, by the way?
I'm about 6'5".
6'5". This is going to be a theme here. J.D. Schulten's a Democrats nominee. He's a former professional baseball player, now lives in Sioux City. So we have do you play basketball too?
Absolutely.
How tall are you?
6'6".
This has got to be the tallest matchup in all of politics, we're calling it. Thanks to both of you for being here. Just a reminder about how this is all set up. We're not doing timers and buzzers and all that kind of stuff. But we are going to try to keep this moving. We'll try to get into as many issues as we can in light of this COVID-19 situation that everybody's dealing with. Everybody is spread out here outside in our studio here, and they're about 8 or 9 feet apart, so we are following social distancing guidelining rules here. So to begin here, gentlemen, when you are both out there campaigning, I've heard both of you talk about the importance of your faith governing who you are. So Mr. Feenstra, let's start with you. How will your faith guide you as a member of Congress?
Well, thank you, WHO and KCAU for holding this debate tonight. I'm greatly appreciative for having this and talking to your listeners. My faith is the very foundation of who I am. It's everything that I am and what I should be. I live out my faith every day. My wife and I have been married 28 wonderful years, and we have 4 wonderful children, 3 that are in college today and 1 that's an 8th grader. I am running for Congress because I truly believe we need an effective, proven leader that can deliver results for family farmers, for Main Street Iowans, and for families. I've served in the Iowa Senate the last 12 years where I have produced results time and time again. I wrote the largest income tax reduction bill in state history, giving farmers and businesses and families an extra $1,000 in their pockets. I helped balance a budget year after year, making sure that our state is fiscally sound. I also helped family farmers by eliminating the grain bin tax and making sure that new farmers have the incentives to buy that next generation farm. I also expanded ethanol and biodiesel. When I get to Congress, I'll do the same thing. I'll also fight against the liberal agenda of the Green New Deal and the government takeover of health care. I'll also make sure that we fight and make sure that we have Social Security and Medicare for everyone, not only now, but in our future.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schulten.
Yeah, my faith is something that's deeply rooted in our campaign and myself as well. And I'm tired of this us versus them mentality. It's about lifting each other up, and it's about leveling the playing field. And so a huge part of this in my campaign is about showing up. We've been to every county. Last fall, we went to all 39 counties and did town halls in towns of under 1,000 people. We've been for a 2-month journey going to all 374 towns in Iowa's 4th Congressional District, because that's who I am. I show up, I listen, and we bring people to the table. On the other side, Randy doesn't seem to be showing up. He only seems to be listening to people that already agree with him, and he's not holding public events. In this debate, he agreed to a month after the invitation was sent when the polls closed. And so this district needs a leader. And what I want to see is something that can bring people together, but Randy can't even bring his own party behind him. And here's 2 quotes from prominent Republicans in the district. Sam Clovis recently said on radio, they found an opportunistic candidate in Randy Feenstra, and they put out all this outside money came in, and it wasn't the 4th District that picked Randy, it was outside money. Then Congressman King, who won't endorse Randy, said in the Sioux City Journal, quote, Iowa's 4th District is the epicenter of the battle against the swamp right now. You've seen attack ads and mailers paid for by billionaire coastal globalist elites, and these are the people who now own Randy Feenstra, end quote. Our campaign is about people. I don't take money from corporate PACs. I turned down the DCCC because my focus is on the people of the 4th District.
Okay, Mr. Feenstra, I got to let you respond here before we get going.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, I've traveled thousands of miles all over the district, and I've done more debates than anybody from the primary until now. I've done more forums than anybody of any candidate till now. I have contributors of 2,900 contributors of people from the state of Iowa. My money is local, it's grassroots. Unlike J.D. Schulten's, whose liberal money, millions and millions of dollars, have come from San Francisco and New York, wanting him to support the Green New Deal and pushing the agenda of government-run health care. I am a grassroots candidate, And I have got it done in the Senate, and I'll get it done for you in Congress.
Okay, let's bring in our other moderator here. Tim Seaman comes to us from KCAU in Sioux City. Over to you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, and glad to be here today, and thanks for spending time with us today to both of the candidates. As you both know, back in western Iowa, I spent many years covering sports before I got the opportunity to talk about news on a daily basis. And so I want to go back there for just a second. If you think back on your days, Dave's established that you're both well-known athletes in western Iowa. When you think back, we often hear about how important time on the athletic field or being involved in that team sport is as I develop my adult life. To each of you, and Mr. Schulten, we'll start with you, if you think back, what's one character that you can directly relate to your time on the athletic field?
I think I look back on my baseball career, and I played with people from 7 or 6 of the 7 different continents, and so it's having a lot of diversity that I've been around, and it's made me a better person, understanding where people come from, and not only geographically, but where their mindset is in a lot of things. I like to talk about how I didn't care where my shortstop came from, if they came from Bancroft or Delaware or Texas, Puerto Rico, and I didn't care who my left fielder voted for in the last election. We need to work together for a common goal. And when Randy talks about issues that I don't agree with, and he continues to have attack ads on me on things that are lies, like I don't support the Green New Deal. And yet I've told Randy several times, I don't agree with that. And when he says about grassroots campaign, well, my campaign in the state of Iowa has raised money from 4,451 people just this last quarter. And so we've outraised him in the state of Iowa.
Mr. Feenstra?
Yeah, you think of sports, and our family has been so involved and engaged in sports ever since my little kids were little. You know, we play touch football or play on the basketball court, and I have 4 children, and we're always competing, whether it be basketball or football or baseball. And one thing I learned about sports is competition. Competition is a good thing. It brings out the best in a person. And it also brings down camaraderie and understanding that, you know, when it's all said and done, we shake the other person's hand. It's about unity and bringing people together, and I applaud that. And that's what we did in the last 5-6 months of the campaign when COVID hit. We became as neighbors. We went out there and we worked hard, and we said, hey, how can I help you? In the derecho, how can we help? Through the COVID times, we delivered diapers, we helped get groceries, and in the derecho, we cut down so many trees and helped clean up. But that's what neighbors are, and that's what sports teams do also. We compete, but we also work collaboratively.
You mentioned COVID. Let's talk about the situation right now, looking at the numbers that are out this afternoon. As we all get together here, Iowa has a record number of people hospitalized right now, as the increased cases have been going up really steadily here all summer long now into the fall. At last check, it's 534 people hospitalized due to COVID, and the newly updated coronavirus.iowa.gov website listed 31 additional deaths because of COVID, which is the highest single-day increase. Now, they can backdate this a little bit, so not everybody died in one day, but it's the most they've reported at one time. Mr. Feenstra, let's start with you here. What is going on in the state here? We talked about everything that was going on in the spring. These numbers are growing so quickly now, and we're not even really into the traditional seasonal flu season. So what's going wrong?
Yeah, this is a very serious virus, and my heart and my prayers go out for all those that have had COVID. I think virtually every family has been touched, and there's people that have died, you know, that our family members obviously know. So it's very serious. And we got to take it seriously. We have to social distance. We have to wear masks. We have to make sure that we do everything possible for our neighbors and for our friends to keep them safe. But we also have to make sure that we continue to keep our economy open. You know, this is a very dire thing, and we, as my family, who are my in-laws, are big farm producers in northwest Iowa. When COVID hit and all of a sudden the supply chain shut down, there was tough decisions that we had to make about euthanizing animals and things like that. So we have to protect our workers, and we have to make sure that they're protected, but we also have to keep our economics open. We also have to make sure that our school stays open so our kids can socialize, that they can get out and learn about the world and the creation. So it's tough, and I can only hope that we find a vaccine as we move forward.
So is that what we have to do, is sit and wait for that? So basically everything is voluntary for the most part. Socially distanced, wear a mask if you want to. Nothing is required. Are you going to require anything? Should we?
Oh, I think each community has to decide, and each school district is going down that path of deciding when masks need to be worn. I teach at Dordt.
But they can't do that.
I'm teaching at Dordt University right now, and we mandated masks, and we make sure that we have social distancing.
But because of the governor's rules, local communities do not have that decision. It's really voluntary, right?
Exactly.
They can't enforce it.
And volunteers, we have to do everything we can to protect one another and make sure we social distance and wear masks.
Mr. Scholten, what should change, if anything?
Well, I think we need a national plan, and that's what we're seeing, the lack thereof leadership from the national point and lack of leadership out of Des Moines. You know, the CDC came out with a thing that said that there was many preventable deaths here in the state of Iowa, and we have this 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach. I mean, I live in Sioux City, where when it first happened, we had South Dakota across the river and Nebraska across the river, and so there's 3 different state plans, and so we had our head on a swivel. And so, you know, some of the things we need to see ramped up testing. We got to figure out who has it, where it's at. Let's isolate them. We need a national plan to work with local school boards and different things like that. The governor said, what was that, 15% positivity rate in the state just this week was over 50%. And so what, is the whole state going to shut down? We don't know, and it's just the lack of leadership. We're all willing to give a few, in March, willing to shut down and do something, but what's the next step? What is success? What does that look like?
Well, what's the next step for you then? Is it a national mask mandate?
Well, I think the next step is testing everybody, just rampant testing. Figure out who has it, where is it at, and let's start isolating.
But they have greatly expanded that, at least in our state. Do you acknowledge that?
I will acknowledge it, but it's not nearly enough. I mean, we're seeing, we're breaking records right now, and just broke the record of 31 deaths, and just, it's heartbreaking seeing, I had a family friend, their father recently passed away. It's just heartbreaking.
You both mentioned how it impacts the economy. Tim has a question with that.
Yeah, I want to step back on the unemployment beat just a little bit. Iowa's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate just fell just below 5%. But if you recall, just a year ago, we were just under 3%. That's still a large gap. The service industry in specific has been hit extremely hard by COVID-19. The hotels, the restaurants, entertainment, those types of things. So my question is, what will you work on to get those jobs back onto the market? Or is there something specifically, another sector of our business landscape that you look to build new to help bring people back to the workforce? Mr. Scholten, you can go first.
Well, I mean, that's what we've seen. We saw in Denison, Kronk's, one of the longest restaurants in the state of Iowa, had to close. We see there was an article just recently in Sioux City about Sneaky's that's been around for over 40 years, and they're just barely making it, and because they lost a lot of catering business. And so this is what we're seeing, and this is, I think, something that we have to be very clear about. When I went to all 374 towns, we met with a lot of small business owners who are struggling right now. You see a lot of the bigger companies and bigger corporations who have all these tax breaks and everything, they're going to get by, but it's the smaller companies, and the backbone of our district are small business and agriculture, and we got to make sure that we're there for them.
So what would you do then to be there for them when you say we have to be with them? How are you?
We got to get on-ramps economically for them. If they're struggling, we need to make sure they have quality loans that they can survive until they can get on their own feet, because right now we're going to lose a lot of our restaurants. We're going to lose a lot of our businesses. I think in the nation they said already 1 in 5 small businesses have already closed.
Mr. Feaster?
Yeah, you're looking up and down Main Street, and it's been an extreme struggle when it comes to our restaurants, when it comes to our grocery stores, when it comes to our bakeries and hardware stores. I tell you what, I helped many a business when the PPP loans came out, and virtually every small town operator said, hey, it gets me through the next step. But we're not there yet. You know, obviously we still have the COVID virus, and I can only hope and pray that we do have a vaccine that comes up. But we also have to create skills training for those that are in high school and those that are going to college. That we have so many jobs right now. I just noted also that there's 60,000 jobs in Iowa as of today that need to be filled. So we got to match those jobs with those that have the skills to fill those jobs and those positions. And that starts with a skilled workforce, and we can do that even at the high school level and college level of matching skills with the jobs that are out there.
One of the areas in our sector that is hardest hit, it appears right now, would be these long-term care facilities. At last check, nearly 70 of them have confirmed reported outbreaks of COVID-19. Mr. Feenstra, let's start with you. Why are these numbers going in the wrong direction when these facilities have greatly limited who can even visit? And some facilities have tried to stop workers, since a lot of these workers are so low paid. They go from one to, they may work at 2 or 3 different places here. What's going wrong?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. My wife's grandma, who's 90-some years old, lives in Rock Valley, and it's heartbreaking because she can't see her kids, she can't see her grandkids and her great-grandchildren, and yet we're trying to protect these people, and it's so hard to protect because you still need workers. You still need workers to provide care for each one of these people, and it's hard to make sure that every single care worker is not testing. So what we're trying to do is test as many care workers as we can each day to make sure that they're negative. But it's, again, protecting the vulnerable. And these are the most vulnerable of our society. And we have to do everything we can to protect them. But I also say that they are struggling. And we as individuals have to do everything we can to talk outside the window, to call them on the telephone, to interact with them, because they need our interaction.
The AARP said that, according to the dashboard they put together, that 43% of nursing homes don't have a week's supply of the PPEs here, the mask, etc. How this thing really hit us in March. How, as we talk in October, is that still a problem?
Yeah.
And where's the breakdown?
Right, and we'll still need to create items. I've never heard of a nursing home that has not had it. They have short supply. We have to get more supply to them, absolutely. And it's got to be made in America. And we found that we had so many manufacturers step up and make masks and to make cleaning, sanitizing liquid, from the ethanol plants. And, the 4th District, when I was traveling around, all these manufacturers say, hey, and this is what we're doing for COVID. That's awesome, right? They're being neighborly. They're saying this is what has to happen. Now we just got to make sure they're getting to the point of where they're needed.
Mr. Schulten, what do we need to do as a country to protect these folks living in these facilities and the workers?
Right. Again, it gets back to having a national plan where we can figure out where it's at. We test, figure out where it's at. And what Senator Feenstra talked about was we got to make sure we protect everyone. The first thing they passed was a protection from the executives of the nursing home. So not the people, not the workers, not the people who care there. When they could have passed anything, they could have passed more, get more PPE for these folks. He passed protection, legal protection from the executives. And so that's the wrong direction. We got to make sure, as a nation, we protect our workers. We got to protect the people who are doing everything right and trying to do everything in the system, but they're not having the support they need right now.
Do you want to respond?
Well, the last thing you need to do right now is point fingers and litigate and say, well, they did this or they didn't do that or things like that. You know what? We're Iowans. We're all in this together. We're all neighborly, and it's all about taking care of one another.
Do you both think the country takes this seriously enough, this pandemic, the threat of it?
I think we have to continue to take it even more seriously. I mean, it's been devastating, and we see that day in, day out in Iowa. But there's this balance, and we have to make sure that we continue to have this balance, that we continue to have our economy open, that that our restaurants can stay open, that our hardware stores and our grocery stores. You think about Main Street, our small main streets of, like I'm from Hull, Iowa. We have 2,500 people. These businesses live based on me going out and getting a pizza, going out and going to the hardware store.
But can you stay open without a mask mandate?
But we've got to make sure, as individuals like myself, I wear a mask wherever I go. And that's what we have to do. We have to make sure that individuals take it upon themselves to be neighborly, wear a mask, and social distance.
And that's the governor's. So do you agree with the way the governor's saying this? Basically, do the right thing, but we're not going to force you?
I agree. We have to do the right thing. We as individuals, all right, we're Iowans. We have to do the right thing. We shouldn't have to have some mandate coming down the pipe and say, this is what we're going to do. No, we are Iowans. Let's take care of one another.
You want a final word on this?
Yeah, well, I'll just say that, we are #1 in the nation right now in rates, and we're going in the wrong direction. What we have seen is just, it's been awful. It's been a failure of leadership, and we see the governor not having masks at fundraisers, and it's just, people feed off of that. And what we've seen already, from all this. This is where we're at. And this 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach is not getting us anywhere. So if the experts say that at any point, we're 8 weeks away from getting out of this. But we were 8 weeks in March. We were 8 weeks now. And we just have this 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach.
We've gotten questions from several viewers. We're going to share some of them with you today. One of them is from Michael Sanger. He is from Clarion. We can show you his question. It's a pretty simple one, and it gets right to the point. What happened to term limits? You know, term limits is something that I think a lot of people don't have a problem with when they're talking. And it's, first off, it's funny to talk term limits with two guys that are looking to make it there to Washington in the House for the first time. But people don't seem to have a problem with their local lawmaker that serves 3 two-year terms and then moves on. The problem is with the leadership that's been there 20 and 25 years. So my question is to you, should someone be able to serve in Washington 20, 25 years and control what happens on a daily basis, Mr.
I would like to see,
Mr. Schulten, I mean.
Yeah, I would like to see term limits, but before we get that done, we have to clean up campaign finance reform. Right now, if we had term limits saying a member of Congress can only be 2, 3, 5 terms, that will just empower the lobbyists. And we got to make sure we, one of the biggest things we talk about every single day is securing our democracy, because right now special interests are dictating it. And so we got to have campaign finance reform. We got to stop the revolving door between members of Congress and becoming lobbyists. We got to get this back to a government of the people, by the people, for the people. So we first do campaign finance reform, then we can do term limits.
I signed the term limit pledge. I absolutely believe in term limits. I term limited myself in the Iowa Senate. I will make sure that I am term limited. And I'll tell you what, it starts with the Founding Fathers. The Founding Fathers said that you go to government, you go to Washington, you serve your time, and then you go back to work again. You don't make it a career. And that's what I want to do. I want to serve the people of the 4th District and then go back home and go back to work. But for me, it's about being passionate for our ag producers and getting things done for our family farmers and for our Main Street Iowans who are desperately need a voice right now.
So how many terms would you serve then?
Max 12 years.
And thank you.
There's actually a term limit group that he said he signed for, and their term limit is for 2 terms.
The one I signed for is max 12 years. And actually what it says is, will you vote for term limits if it comes up? And absolutely, I'll do that.
How does supporting term limits or possibly talking about shorter stays in Washington impact your relationship with the leadership? That's who leads the process in Washington. So does this sidestep your ability to get work done at all?
Me, not at all. In fact, there's drastic change here where I've turned down the DCCC's help. My campaign is probably as independent as a Democrat as you can run. I said I would vote for new leadership if elected, because I feel right now the Midwest is not being represented enough. And so I don't feel on my side I have any issue with that.
Randy?
I'm passionate about going there for 12 years and coming back home and working. That's how our Founding Fathers set it up, and that's the way it should be.
We're coming up against our first break, so I'm going to hit you with a two-parter, kind of a rapid fire here. Mr. Schulten, let's do you first. Have you ever voted for a candidate from another party besides the Democrats?
Yes, sir.
Who was it?
We had a sheriff in Woodbury County.
Mr. Feenstra?
I have. I voted for an independent many years ago.
Okay. Finally, name one area where you disagree with many in your party, but you're going to still fight that way anyway. Mr. Feenstra?
Well, you know, when it goes to the Republican platform, platform said that we should get rid of the TSA. I'd be adamantly against that. I travel after 9/11. TSA is very important, and that's something I would not support in the Republican platform.
Mr. Schulten?
Enforcing our antitrust laws in agriculture. I cannot be more clear that the big thing that's hurting our family farmers, forcing them off the table and forcing them off the farm, is multinational agriculture monopolies. And so I would be for modernizing the GIPSA, modernizing the Packers and Stackyards Act, which next year, my first year in Congress, will be a 100-year anniversary.
Thank you both, and thank you both for being brief so we can make this break here. So when we come back in the second half of our 4th District debate, the candidates' plans to revitalize some of these smaller communities that have been shrinking for decades, plus they get their chance to ask the other candidate a question. We'll be back with that and more next.